back on the couch again because, nothing. They say nothing ever good happens on the couch. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they say. So anyway, it's still cold, but it's not as cold. I think today, let me see here. I think it's in the 20s today. So we're getting a little bit of a heat wave here in, it's 7. It's 7 degrees right now outside, but yeah, it'll be 18 today. So 18 today, 16 tomorrow, 16 on Saturday, and then we get the heat wave next week in the 20s, in the 30s. So I do look forward. I might have to get my shorts out. Speaking of that, I'll get to that in a second here. So couple two things for you. So number one, I feel very old. And I'm almost 34. I'll be 34 in a couple of months here, but I feel very old. So last night I went to go see Hard Boiled because they put it back in the. Don't mind my nose. It's the damn CPAP. It scratches my nose when it rubs up against it. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. Move on. But I went to go see Hard Boiled last night because they put that back in the theaters because Shout Factory has control of those here in the States. So I guess they're trying to make more money off of it. But I wanted to go see it because it is my favorite action film. The again, when you go see these movies in the theater and when you watch them on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever, obviously there's going to be differences. But the remastered print or whatever, it looked pretty damn good. The only two things is they use like a gray color grading, so it kind of threw it off. That could have been the projector, honestly. And then also there were a couple of points in the movie where you saw these jump cuts. So I don't know if that was the reels changing over or what that was, but I did notice that there was a couple like pretty abrupt jump cuts in the film. So I was like, okay. And the sound, well, obviously in the theater, it was too quiet. The sound mix was actually pretty quiet, so I was a little disappointed in that, but that could have, again, just been the theater not playing it loud enough. But it was actually a great experience. I went to the theater, and it was about half full because it was, well, I wouldn't say about half full because that particular theater holds 50 people. There was maybe about 12 people, something like that. So and everybody actually like sat down and they kept their mouths shut and they actually watched the movie and they didn't play on their phones. Like, I know it's weird, but it was great. And they did show a little interview with John Woo at the end of the movie, which was pretty cool. But there was 30 minutes of fucking commercials, because of course there was, before the movie started. And they wonder why people are not going to the movies anymore. So there's that. Excuse me. But the movie was great. And it was the first time I saw it I think it's in Cantonese. But it was actually Chow Yun-fat's voice. So that was pretty cool. So there you go. And some of the jokes, actually, some of the humor, I think worked better in the Chinese version than the American version. So there you go. So I have a new appreciation for that. But this is where I feel very old. So after the movie, it was a group of kids. Well, they were in their early. To me, they're kids, but they were in their early 20s. They were sitting next to me, and they were talking about the one dude. I guess it was his girlfriend or whatever, but he was explaining that, Hard Boiled was the last movie John Woo did before he came to the States and everything. And then this dude in front of him was talking about, he's like, "Will you ever see Hard Target with Van Damme?" And they were going on, and here's the kicker. Here's where it makes me feel old. The other kid said, yeah, and again, they're not children. They're in their early 20s, but to me, they're kids. He goes, yeah, Hard Target used to be on Netflix back in the day. I thought my heart was going to fall out of my chest. I'm like, what the fuck? What? So that's where I feel old. now you have a generation of people that are saying Netflix and back in the day in the same sentence, which does not. It's going to make my brain explode. I just thought it was really funny. I'm like, oh my god! Like, I guess we are at that point now. But when I think back of the day, I'm thinking, the video stores and, especially for a lot of the Hong Kong movies, you had to get bootleg VHS tapes and stuff back in the day because they weren't available here. That's what I think back in the day. But that was a moment that made me feel old. And then there was a guy there. It's 4 fucking degrees outside, and you're wearing flip flops and shorts. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's always that one kid. That did that when I was growing up. It's 4 degrees outside and you're wearing shorts. But good God, people. Like, we live in fucking Pennsylvania. Are you kidding me? You can't be doing that. But yeah, that made me feel very old. But it was cool. And then in March, I think they're putting out, I want to say The Killer is coming out in March. And then April is A Better Tomorrow. Or I might have those backwards. And then for some reason, that particular theater that I went to, they had Blade Runner, but it was the final cut, which I do not like the final cut. If it was the director's cut or the original theatrical cut, I would go see it. And then this weekend, they're showing Godfather 2 and Mean Streets. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll go see Mean Streets. We'll see. If I don't have anything going on that day. I don't know. But then Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze is in March because they had an ad for it. For those of you that want to go check that out. So yeah. So hopefully, this trend will continue where people actually go to the movie and watch the movie and not talk and finger fuck their phones all day. But we'll see. But I'm definitely going to try to go see A Better Tomorrow and The Killer in the theaters because those movies, I think Hard Boiled I think that got some kind of limited release in America back in '92. But the Killer and A Better Tomorrow, I don't think ever played in theaters here in the States, if I'm not mistaken. At least not anything, on a scale where most people could see it. Maybe like a film festival or a limited engagement at like Tarantino's theaters or something like that. So there you go. So that's number 1. Number 2. So part 1 was I feel very old. Part 2 is I told you so. So, I think it was yesterday I found out I was looking on my phone and this news article popped up. There, where I used to work, when I used to work down near BWI Airport, and I would stream, remember when I would stream in the car and everything? So, there was a shooting there yesterday. And it was not an active shooter. It was not an employee went crazy. It was one of the fucking security guards. So when I worked there were some of the guards were armed and some weren't. And I was always very vocal about, there's a lot of these guards that probably should not be armed. They should not have a gun. And they didn't like that because they wanted me to go armed. And I went through the process and stuff, and I was just like, fuck it. And I was on my way out anyway. But I was always very vocal about that. So apparently, not all the details have come out, but apparently they were firing the guy, and he pulled out his gun, and he shot somebody else. And then another guy came in and I guess took him down to the ground or whatever and kept him there. I would have just shot the fucking guy. I mean, you just murdered somebody. What are you going to do? You're going to get arrested. You're going to go sit in jail. You're going to go to trial. And then you might get prison time or not. It just depends on the situation. I'm old school, though. Punishment should fit the crime. But I just found it so fucking ironic and, unintentionally hilarious that happened. Because when I worked there, 5 years ago, I talked, I would always say that, he shouldn't be armed. He's always talking fucking crazy and going off and shit, and he should not have a gun. And the other funny thing is, when I worked there, there was a guy that was armed, and he ended up kidnapping his girlfriend, locking her in a closet, and he got caught. He went out to like a shopping mall or something, and he got caught with the gun there. Like somebody saw that he had a gun, and they called the cops, and the cops came and arrested him, and they didn't even fire the guy. They just arrested him, and then when he got out of jail, I think he went to jail temporarily. I don't think he was convicted of anything, but then they just moved him to a different site. So there you go. What the fuck? See, this is one of the many reasons why I will never do security work again. Because these people are fucking crazy, and look, I am all for gun control. If there's a gun around, I want to be the one in control of it. So there you go. I am fully supportive of gun control. Because if there's a gun, I want to be the only one that can control it. So there's that. In the words of Clint Eastwood. But again, I just find that so ironic, and again, unintentional. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not making light of, somebody dying, but, I know people think I'm fucking crazy, but maybe you should listen. Maybe you should clean your fucking ears out and listen to people. So there's that. Anyway, I just wanted to share more of the I feel old. Maybe that'll be a new segment here. I don't know. Anyway, it's still fucking cold. Just saying, because it's January. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, I think the wrestling VHS, I might do that next week. Because this week I'm trying to get caught up on some stuff, and then Saturday I got to go to a birthday party. So there you go. My cousin's daughter turned 1. Oh, she's adorable. Anyway, so we'll go do that. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. See you.